As a sports fan, I have to confess. Sometimes the game gets kind of boring. That's when I unfold my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and use multi-window viewing on its large screen. Boring game? I'm checking out my fantasy baseball league at the same time. Score still 1-0? I'm replying to emails in the other window, scoring points with the boss. Semifinals finally getting exciting? I'm buying tickets to the finals and booking my flights. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
Today on CityCast Houston, a new poll found that most voters support using public money to renovate the Astrodome. I'm not one of those voters. I say tear it down. Texas Radio Hall of Famer and ESPN radio host John Granado joins me to defend the Dome. It's Tuesday, August 5th. I'm Rahil Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. John, what's up, man? Welcome back to the show. I want to establish this right now. You're my former radio partner. We did a show on ESPN Houston. You're my mentor. You're my good friend. And we agree on a lot of things. But this one has led to some heated arguments.
Yeah.
What should we do with the Astrodome? Why are you so pro Astrodome? Make it make sense for me.
Well, we should do what you don't want to do. We should, okay, we've thought about some things, and you've been wrong most of the time. So this is another example of that. Here's the deal, okay? If the Romans thought like you, then no one would visit Rome because the Colosseum would be gone. Oh, that's right. We're not going to eat any Christians anymore with lions. Let's just tear it down. No, that's not what happened. You know what happened is they kept the Colosseum. Okay, they kept the baths, they kept all of the wonderful old things that they had, and now people flock there to see those things. Okay, and the Astrodome does have historical value. It's the first of its kind. Now, public money, I'm not so sure about, but there was a plan for someone to come in, pay for it personally, all the renovations, make a hotel out of it, and a casino, if possible, if that would have been possible, or just a hotel, whatever the case may be. And now we keep a historic building with private money. Okay, what's the problem with that?
Yeah, wouldn't it have been wild to see the Romans take that historical Colosseum and turn it into a hotel and casino? Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, no. Well, a hotel and casino might not, it would last for however long, but then we would still have the Colosseum. Okay, yeah. I don't know what happened to the Colosseum after they were done with the lions eating Christians. I have no idea what they did. They might have done something. They might have had some kind of baths or something there. Okay,
could have had DraftKings sponsoring it. Yeah,
DraftKings baths. I don't know what they did, but what they did was they kept the Colosseum. Okay, yeah. And so let's keep the Astrodome. Let's keep its historical place, and let's actually care about something that didn't happen last week.
You are right. There is historical value. First dome stadium in the world, by the way, not the nation, in the world. And it was inspired by the Coliseum. And it is cool, like when you drive up to NRG Park and you see just how big the Astrodome is, it is amazing. Like, I will give you that. Now, I'm going to compare it to something that is more modern. Like, I don't want to go back to the Romans and use that comparison. Old Yankee Stadium in New York City, one of the most historical baseball stadiums ever, John. And there was more accomplished in that building. We're talking multiple World Series titles. We're talking one of the greatest teams ever played there. And you know what the Yankees did? They said, tear it down. It's okay. The memories will last forever. The historical context of Old Yankee Stadium will live on through the new park. And let's be honest, the Astrodome is beautiful and it has historical value, but let's move on and just tear it down. It's not doing anything now. We could turn it into something way more valuable, like parking spaces for the Houston Texans.
Oh, yeah, something way more valuable, parking spaces. Okay, that's a terrible. And by the way, I think they made a huge mistake tearing down Yankee Stadium. You know what they didn't do? They didn't tear down Wrigley Field. You know what they didn't do? They didn't tear down Fenway. And you know what? You know where the best two places to visit today are? Wrigley Field and Fenway. The Yankee Stadium, have you been to the new park? It's awful. Yeah, I think it's terrible. You know, they've got these gigantic concourses with giant banners and whatnot, but it doesn't have that old feeling. It doesn't have the feeling of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio. It doesn't have any of that. because it's a new building that's made just to make money now. And that's the wrong. If they'd have kept Yankee Stadium and renovated that, okay, and made it more modern, the lower levels and whatnot, but kept the old building, that would have been a much, much better idea than what they did, tearing down Yankee Stadium. I think that's a terrible example for you, because I that was the worst idea they ever had.
Well, let's talk about renovations for the Astrodome. And it seems like every year we get a new plan, and somehow, some way, we always move away from it. Like it just doesn't work out. And the latest one is a $1 billion renovation that would repurpose the dome as a state-of-the-art space. It would have like 4 buildings inside, and you could really use that space. That would be pretty cool. But why do you think it's taken so long to figure out what to do with a building that hasn't been in use since 2009?
Just a lot of this, what we're talking about, people just don't agree on it. Just don't agree. And listen, that's a major cost. And I don't know if the city can take all of the rats that would be unleashed on the city if you ever open that place up. Okay. It needs so much work, but we haven't done anything. Goodness gracious. We sat on our hands on this thing for all of these years. It's what, 25 years now, 26 years, going
Since
on 26 years.
2009, it's been closed.
Well, I mean, the Astros moved out of there in 2000. Right? And first season that they were there. And I don't know, 2000, there was still stuff going on in 2009?
So 2002 was the last performance George Strait played in there. In 2005, it was actually used to house the evacuees from Hurricane Katrina. And
those poor people.
Then after that, 2009, that was it. They just shut it. They're like, we can't let people in. And that's it. It's been like that. And a new poll came out that a majority of people are cool with using some public funds from the Harris County, which again, that's where the money comes from to manage the Astrodome. But then there's also 26% of people who don't want any county funds being used on the Astrodome. It was actually up for vote in 2013, and a bond was rejected to use $217 million to revitalize the stadium site. So we go back and forth on this so much. The public opinion changes on this, it seems like every week.
Okay, again, use private money. I mean, if someone's willing to put their money into it, you give them a lease that's a 30, 40, 50-year lease. And then after that, if it's not enough, if they're doing a great job, people have wanted to do something privately with this building. And instead, it is eating up money, public money, tax money, which is silly. Let's let the market dictate what to do with this building. And if nobody wants to do anything with the building, nobody has a plan or can come up with a way to make it profitable for themselves, then you get rid of it, right? But I'm against $1 billion in tax money. I think that's ridiculous.
Y'all, Houston Restaurant Weeks is finally here. The city's biggest foodie event is officially underway. This is a month-long celebration of food and community going on now through Labor Day, September 1st. Almost 400 restaurants across the greater Houston area are offering special multi-course menus for brunch, lunch, and dinner, all at set prices. And here's the best part, every meal benefits the Houston Food Bank, which helps our local community fight hunger with every bite. There are so many choices to pick from with Restaurant Weeks, from classic Houston spots to Michelin-rated standouts. There's something for everyone, so head to HoustonRestaurantWeeks.com and explore all of the restaurants and the menus they're offering. Plus, you can filter the options by what part of town you want to dine in and the kind of cuisine you love. This is your chance to explore our iconic food scene, discover new favorites, and give back just by dining out. Get all the details at HoustonRestaurantWeeks.com to dine out and do good.
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
Here's the other layer on top of this. Even if voters wanted to renovate and approve this $1 billion package, or private money came in and said, let's take care of the Astrodome, we've got the Houston Texans and the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo on site at NRG Park. They're the other people who are part of this park and have lease agreements with the county, and they wield so much power, and they're basically saying, no, like, we don't want to renovate the Astrodome.
Right.
So
Well,
you've got that to
okay.
deal with.
And yet I hear Cal and Hannah telling us we're moving out of here. Are you sure that they're not going to be in Sugarland at any time soon or in Katy? Because
Hmm.
I'm not going to listen to what the Texans and the rodeo want when they're trying to get us to give public money for a new stadium for them. So until we figure out that they are going to be tenants there for the long term, they said they're not going to leave the area. That doesn't mean they're not going to leave the dome area,
Yeah.
which is a real possibility now.
Yeah, Cal McNair, Hannah McNair, the owners of the Houston Texans. And, we've talked about this on CityCast Houston about the Texans floating this idea about a new stadium for them, and they have NRG Stadium. Like, it is awesome. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm glad you brought them up because renovating the Astrodome could also mean delaying any renovations on NRG Stadium where the Texans play because the county's facing a deficit right now, and maybe the renovations start in a couple of years, and maybe that deficit is a little bit lower. But are we going to have to make a decision that could impact the current facilities that we're using and generating money, or do we have to make a decision that would help the Astrodome and maybe it helps generate money?
Are we sure that they want renovations or they just want a whole new building?
We've heard that they are okay with renovations now, right?
No, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see and what those renovations are going to take if, in fact, they stay. But let's try first, and let's
Mhm.
make sure that the rodeo and the McNairs are going to stay there, and
Yeah.
renovations will happen. But I'm still of the opinion, let's do something with a building that meant so much to this city. It was such a big deal. I mean, when you walk in, you'll have that video playing of like they started out with all the panels on the roof. There were none. They had to
Mhm.
blacken it. They painted it. Then they covered it, right? And the astronauts in there and the scoreboard with the shooting cowboy. I mean, that meant something to it was big in this city and it's part of the city's history. Honestly, tell me this city's history, the stuff that will be remembered 1,000 years from now about the city of Houston. One of the biggest things will be the Astrodome.
Yeah.
That'll be one of the biggest things. And we want to just raise it so that we can have more parking spots for Cal and Hannah. No, no, that's not a good plan.
Can I get this rant off real quickly about the Houston Texans? Why don't the Texans spend their own money on renovations instead of county money and holding the county hostage for all of this? The Houston Rockets, the Houston Astros, they spend their own money on the stadiums and arenas they're in and renovate it and update things because these sports franchises are very profitable. And nothing is more profitable than the NFL, which the Houston Texans play in. And they do not like spending their money at all.
Well, Crane has his logistics business, right? Tillman is one of the richest guys with Landry's. All the McNair's money is the Houston Texans. Okay. It's typical in the NFL. If your business is the team, then you don't spend your money on it. With the Bears are the same way. The Bengals are the same way. And plus, the precedent is out there for every NFL team to get public monies. So they're going to say, why are we using our monies when the rest of the NFL, we could use it more on players. We can use it more on whatever they want to use it on, being rich themselves. But
Mhm.
because the precedent is out there and because their only source of income is those Houston Texans, they ain't doing it. They ain't doing it.
I forgot to mention that in this recent survey where voters said that they're cool with using public money to a certain point to help renovate the Astrodome, they weren't asked if they're okay with using public dollars for a new Texans facility to replace NRG. The Texans floated that out there a few months
Mm-hmm.
back and they received a lot of backlash. It was
Yep.
not good. It was not positive at all. And that has gotten quiet. So I'm glad that people are standing up and saying, no, you build it yourself. Why are we using our money when we have other county programs that need money and need funding when you billionaires can just build your own stadium?
Well, the Texans kind of lost their leverage on that too when they said, we're not leaving the area. Now, where they gain some leverage is they can get other counties, not Harris County, but other counties to pay for their building as opposed to Harris County, which won't.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm telling you, I'm not going to listen to anything the McNairs want to say until they sign a long-term lease. And then maybe we can talk about the Astrodome and getting rid of that. But until they do that, I don't believe that they're going to be in Harris County, if you want to know the truth. I think they'll be in one of the outlying counties. I mean, Bears are going away from Chicago, from Cook County. I mean, you're going to go where the money is. It's going to be in the area, and they'll still be Houston area, but I don't believe they'll be here in Harris.
I can't wait for the Houston Texans to rebrand as the Richmond Texans and represent Fort Bend County.
You want that traffic? Go get it. Now you live a nice little peaceful life in your little Richmond area. Not so much after the Texans get there, okay? And the rodeo gets there.
John, what was it like being in the Astrodome during the heyday? Like before it closed down, when the Killer Bees were in there in the 90s, that's when you really started getting in there and covering their games. What was it like? Because I never watched a baseball game in there. I watched WrestleMania, and I'll share that in a second. But what was it like in the heyday?
I loved it. I mean, it was so cavernous, but it was such an historic building. I mean, Minute Maid is better. Minute Maid has all the amenities, but the Astrodome was just, I saw football there. I saw baseball there. I mean, I really liked it. I was doing the Astros pre and post game shows those days, and being under there in that, I mean, it was like you were in historic building, and I love that. I love that. I love being in old parks. That's what baseball is all about. And you want to know the truth? I wouldn't mind if they were still playing there today, because I really think that the older parks have so much more charm, even though it was a cookie cutter. It was the same that they had in Pittsburgh, only they had a roof over it. It was the same that they had in Cincinnati, Riverfront and Three Rivers. They were all, around buildings with big parks, tough to hit home runs. But man, it had so much history to it, and there were so many great players that came through there. And you lose all that, just like Yankee Stadium, when you get rid of these buildings.
Yeah, but now with Dyken Park, aka formerly Minute Maid Park, there's more history with the Astros, World Series titles, World Series games, and it's pretty cool that like we have that as well. But with the Astrodome, for me, like my first memory of it was seeing it on TV, right? And immigrating here from Pakistan and seeing it on TV, like, what is this massive thing? And then finally, when I saved up enough money, I went to watch WrestleMania, and I actually touched the top of the Astrodome because that's what I could afford, John. I was literally in the last row watching WrestleMania with my brother. And when we walked in, it was incredible. Like, how is this possible? I do. There is that significance, but you see how I just shared that memory? When the Astrodome is finally torn down, I'll still have those memories. It's still okay. Yeah. Like, it'll be fine, Selena's rodeo performance is historic, and we watch it on YouTube. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to put this to you, but you're going to die, okay? And so your memories will be gone. Okay, yeah. I'm going to die. We're all going to die, and memories will be gone. And in 150 years, there will be no more memories of the Astrodome, okay? All it'll be is that, we go, some old videos of some place that's not around anymore. You know what? Or I could go there and look at this great place that was a big part of Houston history. Honestly, other than the Astrodome, name me Houston history.
All right. We've got Williams Tower, the beautiful tower that just sticks up out of nowhere in the Galleria area. We've got the Galleria.
Who's going to come to Houston to see Williams Tower?
Okay. You go to the water wall.
Stop. Okay.
I took the kids to the water wall recently, and they loved it. I think we take it for granted because we've been hundreds of times. It is still pretty cool. All right. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to take a trip from New York to go see the water wall in Houston. What? Come on. I mean, honestly.
Got some good news for your ears. More of that good stuff is coming up. And even better news for your hair. The best hair care is at Sephora. They've got all kinds of products for every kind of hair. From brands like Amika, Kerastase, Day, and K18. You knew where to get great audio. Now, you know where to get great hair care, too. Sephora. Good news for great hair. Shop hair care now at Sephora.com.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero cooking. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite food delivered straight to you. Get Burger King, Subway, Popeyes, and hundreds more local favorites and savor every last bite. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Okay, if we keep the Astrodome up, let's go through some of these proposals, all right? And over the years, we have seen a lot of different proposals come in. So I want to get your take on each one, all right?
All right.
First one, let's convert the Astrodome into a new convention center. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you got George R. Brown. I don't know how they'd feel about that because they put a lot of money into George R. Brown as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? I love that. I love that. In Chicago, they have one of the biggest convention centers and multiple, and it is a huge attraction. And especially in the winter, if we could do more convention hunting, what that would mean for the economy here would be awesome. And how awesome would it be to be in the Astrodome doing some kind of a car convention or whatever? I love that. I love that idea.
Okay, John, how about this one? Turning the Astrodome into an open air pavilion. So you would keep the dome, you would keep that beautiful ceiling, but then basically you'd rip out like the mezzanine and second level concourses, and it would just be a pavilion. A University of Houston student actually proposed this. What do you think about this one?
Open air is a neat way to put it since it's an enclosed dome. But, okay, maybe you paint the ceiling blue to look like the sky, put a yellow sun up there. You know what? What are you doing with it? Is it a park? Now you're using public funding because it's a park, right?
Yeah.
Renovation is going to be really, really expensive. What are the attractions to the park? Is it a carnival type park? Is it
Well, how about putting like Central Park in there?
Central Park in there? Yeah. Inside, though, we're still going to be inside.
Yeah. But it'd still be open on the edges. It'd be open air.
But you're also going to have to probably charge because you're going to have the air conditioning. You're going to have air conditioning costs that are going to be astronomical.
No
because
AC.
Then why would I go there?
It's open air.
But it's not. It's still enclosed. It's going to be enclosed open air. What is the open air?
I'm with you on this one. You're telling me I have to drive all the way to NRG Park to go to this park, and then the county's going to charge you $25 to park.
I don't know if you heard you get to go to Central Park for free. And there's a lot of parks in the city for free, by the way. So okay. I'm not sure about this plan. We need something that's actually going to make money. That's what we need. That's going to pay for the renovation. That's what we need.
Okay, you're not on board with that one.
That one's no.
Okay, how about just an entertainment space? You can have concerts. You can have space to run events in there. What about that?
I love that because it has been a concert venue. It was for all those years. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Now, it's going to cost a heck of a lot of money to renovate it into that. I don't know that would be business-wise, that would be enough for it. I think you have to do more. I think you have to have a lot more storefronts and even hotel.
I would love that. Hotel would be cool.
Hotel would be really cool.
All right. Here, let's get a little bit more outside of the box here. What if we flood the Astrodome for reenactments of naval battles? Kind of like what we saw in Gladiator 2, what they did with the Colosseum. What do you think?
I mean, who wouldn't flock to that, to see that? Naval battles. What? Wait, who thought of this one? Is this one you came up with?
No comment.
Okay. All right. Next.
How about you? Is there anything else that you would like to propose?
A giant casino. Gigantic. I mean, yeah, hotel rooms all the way around the top, okay, with beautiful glass elevators going up to it, a giant casino floor, okay, concerts there as well, bars, restaurants, just a wonderful facility, as big a facility, entertainment facility as you could possibly have. And with a concert venue that could seat thousands of people. Yeah. And that's something that could pay for the renovations because it would be something that the private sector would definitely go for because I can make money on a casino. I can make that money back with a casino and hotel. Mm-hmm. The other ones, just concerts, I'm not sure. Naval battles, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to, fill it day in and day out with naval battles. Okay. So, but, I think
What are you
that to
talking
me,
about? You don't want to pay $100 to see a ship attacking another one from starboard side? Come on,
that would
John.
be awesome. We're
You've
flooding
changed.
the dome to shoot out to have, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
The entire crowd in unison yelling, "Starboard! Watch out!"
You sunk my battleship. That would
You
be
sunk my battleship.
okay. That would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. That
Yeah.
would be awesome. But let's maybe do something that makes sense.
I like the casino idea. If the state legislature ever approves it and it's talked about there, and lawmakers are like, "Hey, let's do this. Let's legalize gambling." I think that would be fantastic.
How do we know that's not Native American ground right there?
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that?
That's true.
So that we could put a Native American casino in there. We don't know. You don't know. No one knows.
Now you're going way outside the box.
Were there ever any Native Americans there? Okay.
You're saying turn it into a tribal land.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And up until we get to NRG. Okay. Yeah. But only right here.
I'm sure the Texans would love that. As we wrap things up, I want to get your thoughts on this. Local writer Craig Lavati, who is also a friend of the show, has a tattoo of the Astrodome on his calf. And he said that, quote, "It's almost a monument to government inactivity and apathy at this point," end quote. What do you think it says about Houston that we can't agree what to do with such a historical building, the Astrodome? What does that say about us?
I think there's a lot of fear involved in this, because if we tear it down, let's be the people that tears it down, and then there's going to be such a backlash. And why did you do this to our city? Or let's put public money into it. There's that backlash as well. I don't know that there's here's the problem. You and I think we're typical. Like you, tear it down. I'm like, no, we got to keep it. We got to keep the history of Houston. I don't think that tattoo is a symbol of government inactivity. I think it's a symbol of Houston. I honestly think, what is the water wall? If you had it on a tattoo on your leg, would anyone know what that was? If it was Williams Tower, would anyone know what that was? I mean, no. But when you got the Astrodome, you know what that means? I'm from Houston. I'm from Houston. Look at that. This is what Houston is. It's the Astrodome. And so I think it's Houston. But as far as, the inactivity, I think everybody's paralyzed to do anything, because it's going to be the wrong thing either way for a lot of people.
John, perfectly said. I'm glad you came on and defended the dome. I still disagree with you, but I can appreciate your argument a little bit more. Hopefully we figure this out in our lifetimes. Right. That'd be nice, that we have something of a solution with the eighth wonder of the world.
That's right.
JG, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, brother.
Anytime, JG. Hey, big thanks to all of our CityCast Houston neighbors for supporting us so we can do episodes like this one. I'm talking about Charles A., Beth D., Lana G., David H., James M., David C., and Stuart R. Thanks for becoming our neighbors. And if you want to join for just $10 a month, head to membership.citycast.fm. Thank you so much. That was John Granado. You can hear him every weekday morning on ESPN Houston. Now, I want to hear from you and what you want to do with the Astrodome. Leave me a voicemail by calling 713-489-6972 so we can share it with our CityCast Houston community on a future episode. Also, share this episode with 3 friends who you've seen an Astros game with, and drop us a rating and review wherever you listen. Plus, subscribe if you're new here so you can get daily episodes of CityCast Houston in your podcast feed. Get more Houston history, news, and events every day in your email inbox when you sign up for our daily newsletter, Hey Houston, at houston.citycast.fm. That will do it for today. I'm Rahil Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and go Astros go.
For you, Rahil, I'm wearing my Hall of Fame shirt, as a matter of fact.